Go back to here. Alright, so let's get on this. Alright, so first of all, to understand money and all that stuff, you need to understand how people, how the gold inflates and how ripple flux, thank you for follow. So we need to know how gold like generates into the game. Every time someone generates money into the game, it inflates the amount of money in the game. Okay. Every time someone takes money out of the game, it deflates the money from the game. So you can look at it as like all the money in the game is like a big old lake. Okay. Roid laws, thank you for follow. It's like a big old lake, and each player has like their own small portion, and like one rich player could have a large portion, but each time a player like runs a trade pack, opens coin purses, things like that, that's you're making the pool bigger. So all right, so here's the ways people generate money in the game. Vendor trash, quests are very low. It's only like what 20, 30 silver per quest. Blue salt bonds. If you want a link right here to the video, it explains what blue salt bonds are. Savage has a really good explanation, and it's right there. But if you want it in the document, it's right here. So coin purses. Another thing you generates money. Zero larceny, you get about 4 silver per labor. Max larceny is about 7.5 silver per labor, and this is with the ancestor coin purses. And then I have where each coin purse drops off of. Their top 3 coin purses can be ancestors, queens, and princes. And prince coin purses drop off any mob in Aurora or sea bugs. Now that's not, it's not any mob, okay. Mobs that drop the queen purses, queens, are in Reedwind and the purification zones, which are right here on the map. I'll show you what they are if you don't understand what they are. So you may have seen it, and when you go to like Sun Gold right here, this is a purification zone, and it's like a big old bunker thing that you can take down for guild experience and stuff like that. Well, once you take it down, it summons like one of those same things in Diamond Shores. Same thing like here, and it summons like one of those big big like little turret things that if enemy faction player and it runs near you, that'll attack it. Same thing, same concept. A lot of people don't do it as much. They kind of just do the ones in Diamond Shores, but that is a thing that people can do. Okay, then ancestor coin purses are dropped off mobs ancestor level 1 or higher. So that means Whale Song, Aegis Island, WHM, EHM. Those are the mobs that drop those. Those are your highest tiered coin purses. All right, now gold crates. Gold crates are dropped from world bosses. Drops from Red Dragon, which is an instance. Can also drop off the Millennium Mammoth and the Black Treant. A lot of people don't really know that. But those mobs can drop the gold crates. And what a gold crate is, let me see. I can run up to my banker and show you like what it actually looks like in game. I have 3 of them on me. Alright, so here's a gold crate and it's locked. So what we need to unlock it is, well, we need gold keys. So right here you got your copper key, silver key, and you got you get from the Shadow Invasion the world boss, the Rift boss itself can drop a gold crate, and at the very end of it, at the very end of the Shadow Invasion, that last boss can also drop a gold crate. So you can potentially get 2 gold crates off of that Rift boss. So you have to actually craft the keys up right here, and these are gold keys which open the gold crates. So that's the purpose of gold keys, and you need exploration to make these. You need 70k exploration to make it. And but yeah, that's how you get it. And you get an average of about 35 gold per gold crate you open, and you get an average of 4 monostorm sorry, it can give you monostorm crystals, but it can also give you superior glow lunarite. So what superior glow lunarite is used for is making your tier 3 gems right here. You need 70 of them. That's if you want to do it. And then what else? Oh yeah, if you want to make the tier 1 plus 5 gems, also costs superior glow lunarite right here. That's what those items are used for. And it can also drop monostorm crystals and rare gems. And what monostorm crystals are used for is mainly like gliders and mounts. How many crystals? I came here for the tip. Stay here because you're handsome. Alright, how many? Monostorm crystals, they drop 4 an average of 4, and same thing with the superior lunarite. Monostorm crystal, and we're going to show you what these can make. You can actually craft like straight up gliders with these. You need like 200. You can also buy some mounts and stuff like that with monostorm crystals. There's a big list of stuff. You just go to monostorm crystals, materials right here, and pull up everything. All right, so next thing, mole crates. Can you break down Lunar Frost and Luna Gems? You can break down when you break down a Luna Gem, it gives you super low Lunarite, an average of 4. And then when you break down a Lunar Frost, it gives you Lunarite. Lunarite is a different thing. No, that's a lot of gold crates you need for a mount. Yeah, it is. Now, whenever you do the Red Dragon event, and once you succeed, it has a 100% chance of dropping 2 gold crates. Alright, so mole crates. These are all the mole spawns, and if you want this location, here we go. Moles, this is where every mole spawns. Now, what these moles do is when you kill one, unfortunately I don't have any saved on me, but um, every time it is 100% chance once one dies, it'll drop a mole crate, and the mole crate costs you 100 labor to open, and it is not affected by proficiency. So larceny can't reduce that. It's just a raw to a 100 labor, and at the very minimum, it can give you 10 gold. So that's 10 silver per labor. And the very top end of things, it can give you 150 gold, and so that's 1.5 gold per labor. Now, as a side thing that can give you, it can give you these things. It can give you keys. It can give you copper keys, silver keys, or gold keys. And depending on your market, that can even be even more money. Like uh, I opened 2 the other day, and I got 4 gold keys out of the 2 of them. So, and for most part, you only really get about 10 gold, really, for most part. Um, you know, you're saying 10 to 150 gold. Oh my god, it's gonna be crazy. But really, even hitting 30 gold on one of them, that's kind of like a lucky things. I do not know the respawn timer on these, but they do have a respawn timer, and they're always at the same location. By the way, they don't move. It's also easier for mages or archers to kill them, mostly mages, I'd say, because they spawn normally within a pack of mobs and can be like elite mobs or something like that. They also have a very high evasion rate, which mages are not affected by that evasion rate. And you have to kill them within 10 seconds or they run away. Alright, next thing I want to go over is trait packs. Packs, I kind of refer to them all as trait packs, even though they are categorized as different types of trait packs. But talk over the classic trait pack version right here. And I have a link to this document right here. Is it viable for healer cell guide? You could probably kill them very fast with a skewer if you line up the skewer on them. You just have to worry about making sure your skewer doesn't hit other mobs in the way. This is the document. It has a full breakdown of everything trade packs. Has explanation of trade packs, right? Everything. And these are the percentages at max percent. This is the value you'd get from each one. These are normal packs right here. Guild packs. Resident packs, you have to own land to make this. You have to own a house in that zone to make this pack. Fertilizer packs, you can only make this from a trader's house. And larders. Larders are all right here. And to go through this document, you have the east side right here, west side, cargo runs. Cargo runs not a big deal. Just focus on the east and west right here. You want the link for this? It's right here. And it also has the explanation of what type of each pack is. So if you don't know about that, I'll explain it. Alright, so now the trade packs also vary by the market, so the percentages and stuff like that. And if you don't know what larders are, type it real quick in the folio. Here's the larders. You basically the whole thing that will normally hold you back is royal seed. You can buy it with vocation. 800 vocation. People buy with gold too from the auction house and stuff like that. It's one of the main things that actually sells vocation. So you just need iron, stone, and lumber. You make it, you place it on your land, then you need to put one of those ingredients in it, whichever type of larder you want to make. They're all relatively the same. You should go over Shift O a lot, yeah. Yeah, you can hit Shift O, or you can go down here and hit trade info. and you can select which zone you want. Like let's say I want to run packs out of Animar. Let's select Animar here. This is starting zone, and then here's my 3 places I can turn them in. Souls Reeds where I normally would go. These are the percentages. I take those percentages and like calculate them versus that spreadsheet, and it'll tell me how much money they're making. Cinderstone, those are the percentages, and then 2 crowns. And you can see like if it's worth it. Okay. All right. So next thing I want to go over is sport fishing. Now, sport fishing, it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. However, there are some things that are nice about it. There are some nice changes that they've done. So you need 0 proficiency to go sport fishing. Freshwater fishing, freshwater sport fishing, which can be done at almost any lake, any major lake anyways. So like 2 crowns, you can do it right here. You're looking for some seagulls or whatever. It's not much money. You can also do it here at this lake. You can also do it like here. Those are just some examples. You're looking for like a fish stand, and you're looking for sea bugs. You'll chum the water. And what you'll need is chum. Let's see, this one. Okay, this one is used for freshwater fishing, freshwater sport fishing. This one's used for um, this one is used for ocean fishing, ocean for sport water fishing. Now, the freshwater fishing, it's safe. It's pretty fast to turn in. It's very low silver per labor. It's actually around coin purses. Saltwater fishing, it's very RNG. But on average, I've noticed I was getting about 14.5 silver per labor, and that's over probably like over 100 fish turned in at 90k proficiency. I was like data mining to see how it is. But it can be very RNG. With high proficiency, you can catch gargs very fast. You can turn it in and do all that stuff. Now, the other thing that you'll need other than the chum is you'll need a lure. A lure is only 15 iron, so it's rather cheap, and this lure is applied to your fishing rod, and it lasts for 2 hours. The last thing you'll need is a fishing rod. And here's your basic fishing rod. You can get this from a quest if you like. You get it from achievement from getting a rowboat, so it just gives it to you free. And now from there you have 2 options you can go. You can go to for your sturdy rod. Sturdy rod. How do you find all these spreadsheets? Some much useful. I made the one that I'm going over. The trade pack one I did not make, but this main spreadsheet I'm working on, that's one I made myself. Anyone can have access to it anytime they want. All right, so you have your 2 rods right here. Your flexible rod, you basically it means your rod your lure sits in the water less time before the fish catches it, and your sturdy rod is basically kill fish faster, so you catch fish faster. Those are your 2 rods. They have like what 4 different levels on them. Both of them going to go up to 4. Now, once you make your ultimate fishing rod, you have to have 100k fishing proficiency, and then it consumes both your top end sturdy and top end flexible rod. You also need your ultimate fishing design. Ultimate fishing design is only gotten from an achievement here. General, vocation, fishing, and there's your ultimate fishing rod design right here. You need to complete every fishing achievement. Okay. So, going back to it, Sunken Ships. Sunken Ships is my very favorite thing to do in the game. I do it all the time on Legacy, and this actually requires exploration proficiency. That's weird. It requires exploration proficiency, and you can start doing it with 0 exploration. They have these shiny packs, which are like almost look like how Fortuna veins are kind of like shiny or whatever. That's kind of what it looks like, and it just has there's 4 different types of cargo packs from Sunken Ships. You have your basic pack. Shoot, I forget the exact numbers on them, but you got your basic pack, your green pack, your blue pack, and then your arcane pack. Your basic through blue can come from any of them, and then your last 3, I'm like kind of mixing myself up here, but the shiny pack can give you green, blue, or arcane pack. So that's the only way you can get your arcane pack from Sunken Ships. I do want to make a video. I've done it a couple times on stream, but those videos have like decayed already. So next time I log on, like see if I Well, I'll need to log on Legacy at some point. And I'll actually make a video guide on how to do it, and I'll link it right here. But I just wanted to go ahead and get this out. So sunken ships yield about 21 silver per labor. The boat is very stable in the amount of money it gives. A boat can give you about 300 gold. It's very risky. And sunken ships spawn only in the north. They spawn around this area, a little bit over, all the way up. This is where sunken ships spawn. And sunken ships spawn every 6 hours. They stay up for 5 hours, so they have a 1 hour downtime. And you need a submarine to do it. That's one of the minimum requirements. You need a submarine, a merchant ship, 10 recovery pouches, and then it costs quite a bit of labor. It costs like with my exploration, I'm like 180k on my main, and it cost me 1440 labor to raise. So I can only do about 3 of them a day. I used to be able to do a lot more, but they used to give less money. But they did take a hit overall. Alright, now the Abyssal pack. The Abyssal pack happens during Abyssal attack, which is every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Happens an hour and a half before reset. There's also Luskar out there and everything. So the Abyssal pack only costs what 100 labor to make and 0 labor to turn in. And I kind of forget if it's affected by percentages or not. I know it used to be. I want to say it's. I don't know if it is anymore. So, anyways, it's what happens right here. And once the winning faction gets it, there's 2 crystals spawn in the middle. I need to double check it, but I heard people say that they spawn on the outsides too. 300 labor making does not require. Okay, that's good to know. 300 labor making. Damn, remove the percent base. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so the ways to turn these packs in. So you need a relic merchant, and the only relic merchants are here in Diamond Shores, here for the west, and here for the east. And then you can also turn in at Growgate. It's a little bit risky to go Growgate, but you can go there. You have to dodge some of the cannons, or the cannons will kill you and your ship. Do I do sunken ships alone? I would recommend doing with a group until you understand fully what you're doing. All the labor with sunken ships is all up front, so you're putting your labor into it, and then if you get pirated, that person gets all of the money. You get 0% from it, and it also costs them 0 labor to turn in. So it's very lucrative for them to pirate you. So it's actually pretty contested, even though the legacy is dead. It's still contested on legacy. Okay, so anyways, to turn these, oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I should have went over where to turn. Both Abyssal packs and Sunken Ship packs are considered like cargo, like relic cargo, so you need a relic merchant. So it's Diamond Shores, Growgate, Freeditch, or 2 Crowns, or Ostra. Those are the only places you can turn these packs in at. Okay. Some of the major guilds that I've seen, they'll farm Sunken Ships and they'll control Freeditch, and they'll just keep running packs into Freeditch. Pirates also have easy access since a lot of Sunken Ships spawn out here. They even have Ezzy's Light to make their ship move faster here, so they can easily just go harvest Sunken Ships, and so that's one thing that's nice. Oh yeah, I should have gone over if you lose a trade pack, if you lose a trade pack that you craft, you get 20% of the money from it. Same thing, I believe, with cargo pack. I believe you get 20% of the profit from it. A fish, you lose everything with fishing. However, it costs the person who pirates you half of the labor to turn in, and it costs like 60 labor or something like that to turn a fish in. Sunken ships, 0 labor to turn in, and then Abyssal packs are also 0 labor to turn in. Alright, then Kraken tentacles, I just wanted to mention it. Once you kill Kraken, Kraken itself will drop armor. No, I'm sorry. It'll drop weapons, drop some other stuff. It can also drop a special gem. The biggest thing that people freak out about is the Kraken glider, because the Kraken glider is one of the few gliders that can actually glide in the ocean in turbulence air. So that's one of the biggest things from a Kraken. But the Kraken also does drop tentacles, and tentacles are like trade packs. That's just a thing. And that's kind of, for most part, how people can generate money into the game. Now, I want to go over how people remove money from the game. They take money and they delete it. One is upgrading gear. Most of you guys are probably running into this issue right now. When you upgrade your gear, synthesis, gemming, tempering, regrading, any of that stuff, it takes money out of the game and deletes it. Also, auction house fees. You got 10% fee once you sell an item. Also, there's listing fee that only comes in effect if your item does not sell. Can you glide from nation to nation with the Kraken? I don't think so. I know you can glide from one of the very high mountains. um, I think the Sky Emperor's faster anyway than the Kraken ladder. So, anyways, another thing is the auction house. Deletes money from the game. Then also, if you any consumable you use, now it doesn't directly. If you grow your own food and stuff like that, it doesn't delete money from the game. But if you, for example, if you buy food, if you put a price value on every item, then yes, that's thing. Food, drink, potions, eruptor stones, shadowgun, sand for repairing your boats, red scrolls, blue salt knives, etc., etc., etc. Basically anything you buy from a merchant. Then your repairs. Some of your repairs are, I'm sorry. With your gear, your gear is actually kind of expensive to repair, and since we're all kind of poor, those repair bills starts getting kind of expensive. Next thing is cargo packs. Cargo packs cost like 26 gold to buy. Then you basically trade 26 gold and make onyx with it. Any merchant item, hunting request. If you don't know what a hunting request is, you basically just go to any zone. You can go into conflict and buy an item there. If you want to know more about it, I have a hunting request right here. It tells you which at each zone. And I think there's a total of 29 hunting requests. And then also every time you change your spec, it costs you like some gold too. So those are some like most common ways of players like delete money from the game. So right now we're kind of deleting more money than we're actually making. And on top of it, everyone's trying to make money off of each other because that's actually the best way to make money. So no one's actually creating money into the game. So that's why markets has crashed. That's why players have no money. And but yeah, so we're gonna go over ways you can make money with like your professions, other things in the game. All right, so this is the general list of professions overview basically. All right, so you can only have 2 max out professions at a time. And how do you get max out professions is you have to go to your proficiency thing, go to increase. You can only go up to like what +7 or something right here, but you have to buy these snowflakes. Snowflakes are what 150 gold I think or something like that. They're kind of expensive. The higher you go up, the more snowflakes you need. Let me see. Snowflake. 200 gold for snowflake. Yeah, so it's not cheap, especially once you want to start maxing out your professions, because they'll start costing more and more. So you can only have 2 max out professions at a time, and then I have it grouped by harvesting and processing and crafting and all that stuff. It's a little bit different from the way they have it set up, but I'll just kind of knock it out real quick. Okay. So mining, logging, I'm not going to explain what they are. Farming is for produce and grain. So that's like if you don't understand why you're picking flour and it gives you like gathering instead of farming, that's why. Farming is used for those things. So like like barley, quinoa, or chopped produce, which is like pumpkins and like tomatoes and stuff like that. Gathering is for medicinal powder and spices. Husbandry is for livestock and larders. For processing things, these are the people that take like like iron and they make it into like ingots and stuff like that. You got your masonry, which makes stone. Your carpentry, which is fabric. I'm sorry, tailoring is fabric. Carpentry is lumber. Leatherworking is obviously leather, and metalworking is obviously metal. Now, these 3 right here, carpentry, leatherworking, I'm sorry, these 4 are also used for crafting stuff. So, a lot of the stuff in crafting, some of them are obsolete nowadays since we have the iron gear and all that stuff. But for weaponry, this is how you make all your weapons. This is for crafted weapons, for sort of like the Delphinite Ironite stuff. Some of that stuff is like obsolete for the most part. The only thing that's not obsolete is going to be your Airnor. So, like, if you look at Airnor, let's see, just Great Axe. All Airnor items and either armor or weapons require 180k proficiency to craft. And since weaponry won't really be making money as you level up, it will be a thing that like only a handful full of people will actually be focused on, like weaponry or things like that. So you probably won't see many Aranor items even in the game until like way later on, unless someone like actually focuses on early on. All right, then your carpentry, you can make your bows, staffs, and scepters. Uh, then here's your three things that are like I'd consider obsolete. Tailoring, leatherworking, and metalworking. They all make armor. Most people just use either the library gear, library armor, or Hiram armor. Yeah, with the ease of Hiram gear, I don't doubt anyone bother. People might go for the Aranor weapons because it is better in super late in game. But for most part, I'd assume most people are just going to focus on their Hiram gear or the other thing. What's the point if there's no reason to make anything? Players need. Yeah, I know. So that's why I'm saying, for most part, these are obsolete. Only if you want to go for Aranor would these even be as a value. Okay, so these professions down here, your handicraft, which makes your jewels, your gems. So your glorious gems right here. You need 70k handicraft to make it. That is one of the things that will hold you back if you don't have anyone making it. They can also make jewelry. Some of the jewelry is nice, like the Inad jewelry. It's not too terribly expensive to make, and you can make it. And it is comparable to the Noriat jewelry, which Noriat jewelry is technically best in slot. But your Inad stuff, like your Inad rings and earrings, are not bad. Alright, so your alchemy. Alchemy is used for potions, even upgrading your Archeum, which is a little bit obsolete right now, and then also crafting Lunar Frost. And then another thing to note about alchemy, side bonus, is whenever you put gems in your gear, it costs you 500 labor. But if you have high alchemy, alchemy can reduce the amount of labor it costs to put gems in. So that's nice. For cooking, the only thing you use for is food and drink, and also can be used for like these stat stuff right here. Like this is a rank 1 meatball, but you can actually make better stuff like that. Those are your three things that cooking is used for. Printing is just used for regrade scrolls. Machining is used for vehicles and parts. You don't really need that much machining for most things. Alright, then your special things. These are ways you can make money with stuff like that. Alright, so your large thing. It's used for coin purses, your crates, and also higher infusions. The higher larceny you have, it reduces the amount of labor it costs to like open one of these infusions. Let me show you. Like one of these infusions, it cost me 40 labor to open that one, but if I had maxed out larceny, it would be reduced. So that's one thing to note. Alright, the next thing is fishing. Fishing you can either use it for AFK fishing. For AFK fishing, you can get Dawnlink Essence, and Dawnlink Essence is something. It's not too bad. You can make regrade scrolls out of it. There you go. Right now it's selling for 1.8 gold, so that's not too bad of a price. And you can do this while you're AFK. All you need is bait worms. All you need is fishing rod and bait worms. And for what it's used for, here's some of the housing things it's used for. You got your tier 1 timber coop right there, and just like some other things, regrade scrolls. But that's what your Dawnlink Essence is used for. Alright, then next thing is commerce. That's for trade packs, crafting trade packs, turning in trade packs. Exploration is only used for sunken ships and making gold keys. Also recovery pouches. Like for example, we'll filter this by exploration. You got your recovery pouches here, which are you either used for sunken ships or racing sunken ships underwater. You got your keys right here. And then this stuff is like old. So just sunken ships and that. How do you gain exploration proficiency? I would say the fastest way to get an exploration proficiency is one, either mass craft recovery pouches. Right here, you can mass craft them early on to like build up some stuff, and you can also just go to sunken ships with 0 proficiency as well. You just can't. You're just gonna have to leave behind this shiny packs. You can also make gold keys, copper keys, and all that stuff too. Once you get 100k proficiency, you can start doing everything. But other than that, it's kind of hard. You can go to like top of a mountain, which is only like 100. It's not worth it. I mean, if you're you okay, it's nice. It's labor free, but if you're talking about like how to like level up fast, don't climb mountains. Like it's kind of a waste of time, to be honest. Yeah, so just make recovery pouches. You can do sunken ships if you want, all that stuff. All right, next thing, construction. Construction, the only use of construction is to make tax certs, and once you hit 230k proficiency, you can actually start making tradable tax certs. So this is what people are doing on like their third alt. They have a bunch of land on their third alt, and all they do is log in. Just log in, burn tax certs, because you can spend 5k labor within probably like less than 5 minutes making tax certs, because it's very labor intensive. And then once you max out your labor tax certs, you can start selling them. Alright, so those are all your proficiencies, and next I want to go over is tradable resources. This is going to be like your honor, your vocation, your gilda, stuff like that. So I got all your gilda dailies right here, and I put them in the order. Do you need 3 accounts for 3 computers? No, you can do it all on one computer. All you have to do is log in one at a time. It's really annoying with the queue right now, but if you log in overnight, there's no queue. Alright, so here's all the things. Abyssal, and how much honor you can get per day. These are max numbers. This is, for example, if you win Halcyon 3 times, that's 6,000 honor. And right now, unfortunately, we cannot do these 3, and we cannot do this one. I'm sorry, you cannot do that one. So that's a big hit for amount of honor we can generate per day right now. But you can get a total of 18,400 honor, and that's without killing a single player, by the way. Your next thing is your vocation. You can get vocation mainly from your family dailies, and you also get a little bit from harvesting. It's only a couple of vocation per thing you harvest, so it's mostly family dailies. Then your gilda, you get a bunch of you didn't count for hero turn-ins. That's true, that's true. But I right here I listed the dailies. I know you get honor for voting for hero though. You can also get. We go over and get use for labor. Yeah, sure. I'll do that later though. So gilda, you get a lot of gilda from your main story quest line. From doing the easy achievements into my main story quest line, I was getting about 225 gilda. Uh, and then world bosses, they give quite a bit of stuff too. You get honor from doing the blue salt bond on the hero board. Okay, that's cool. Am I stacking bonds already? No, I don't care about bonds. Alright, and then here's all your gilda dailies as well. You get a total of 45, and that's the ones you do for it. Most thing you sell for gilda is just designs. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you. You get honor. You sell gems to make gold off of honor. It's the only thing that's tradable. Vocation. Almost everything in the vocation shop is tradable. So depending on what people want, gilda is just designs. Prestige is just from Misagons you sell, and then guild dailies, hunting request, and then the Eclaira Rift or whatever. And do you have a video of doing honor dailies? Nope. I've never made a video of doing honor dailies. Hello, demigod. I'm just going over a gold making guide. Alright, so next thing is Curios badges. You get these from doing arenas. And the Curios badge shop is, you go to your instance right here. Go to arena shop right here. And almost everything in here is bound to you. Main thing people do it for is either titles right here, or your stat migration scrolls, which I actually need to buy one today. And then these consumables right here are tradable, and sometimes people can buy that. And stat migration, you just buy them. You choose your main stat you want. You choose the stat that you don't want, like I don't want strength since I'm a mage. And then we're gonna put it in here. Now I'm weaker, and now I'm smarter. Okay. Alright, other ways to make gold, other like random things that make gold. So you can do dungeons, cause 0 labor to do this. You can just vendor the trash in it. You can break some of the armor, weapons, and jewelry down if you want to get Archeum. That's all dependent on the market if it's worth it. And then the big thing in the dungeons, is going to be the Sunglow gems. Now, if you want to list on all the dungeons right here, I have all the dungeons, how many times you can do it per day, and then you can also reset the amount of times you can do it with a grinding scroll. But you can only do it 5 times total per 6 hours, and that's not affected by reset. Some of the guides right here on how to do the dungeons. I have guides for some of the harder ones. Alright, so world bosses, they drop gold crates, and also world bosses drop like gilda, and they also drop like loot, depending on which world boss. I've not data mined all of the world bosses. If you want, I could actually put a whole list on what each world boss drops. Some of the special gems that go into your bracers are only from world bosses, and some of them can be very, very good, and they can be worth a lot of money. For example, Thundering Titan, which taken down, can you solo any dungeons? You have to have a high gear score. My main can solo greater dungeons at 9k gear score. It's a lot faster with the healer though. Alright, Xperia plants. So this is one thing that people don't really like pay attention to. Is the Xperia plants in Mirage Fishing. Kind of have these like grouped together. I'll show you what they are. So basically, you go out and grow an Xperia plant, and it's under this title right here. Like these people, they all went to grow Xperia plants. Not many people have even done it, and here's what you have to grow one of these things right here. One of these for Xperia plants. They give you a whole bunch of experience. It actually counts towards one of your guild dailies. And slow down your turning and Sonic. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to like knock this out into a video. But yeah, I'll slow down. So here's your Xperia stuff that you can make. And this is how to make it. And every so often you can get a crit. You can get like a crit Xperia plant, which will give you a whole bunch of experience. Like for example, this person crit and got like almost 100,000 experience. Now, since he did that, this resets every month, and the rank runner reward is 2,000 gold. So that person right here, he knew what he was doing, and he's trying to get that 2,000 gold because there's not much competition on it right now. But even like these people down on the list, like let's look at the epic rewards. That's 50 gold, so that's not a big deal. The 2,000 gold, 500 gold, 200 gold. So those top 3 rewards, if you're in the top 10, it's not bad. Below that, it's kind of like meh. I'm going from that to that. Alright, the next thing is sport fishing. Sport fishing it's an event that happens on Mirage. I can't remember if it's Saturday or Sunday, but I don't really do it. Why do people keep doing these overly? Oh yeah. I don't know. Eventually you can build like your faction base or something like that. It is Saturday. Okay. Okay, cool. It's Saturday for the sport fishing. But if you get the biggest fish that day, well, if you get the biggest fish for that month, you get 1,000 gold. So that is another thing that is nice. Just a random thing else in the game. 500 gold for, I guess second place or whatever. Those are all. Those are all of your rewards. Where's the Xperia thing? Blue ribbon. And these are the Xperia plants. Doesn't matter which one you do. That's a week? Okay. So fishing's per week. That's nice to know. Alright. Next thing is being a hero. They have reworked heroes quite a bit of times, and I don't really know. I haven't been a hero since some of the reworks. But if you become a hero, the main thing that people go for is like it's called a hero gem. It is a 300 toughness to your helmet. I don't have gear build. I don't have any commands. But if you want to know, I can show you. Anyways, heroes get one of the big things heroes get is once you become a hero, you can do a whole bunch of leadership stuff, which is really annoying. You're like selling your soul to do it. And you can get a 300 toughness gem to your helmet. That's the only toughness gem you can get, so people can actually will pay a lot of money for them. So sport fishing isn't really worth it. Can be now since all the markets crashed, and sport fishing profit is not based on the market. So you would actually be yielding higher silver per labor than most things right now. Alright, next thing is castles. Castles have been reworked in 6.0. They were different back in the day. Basically, the castle lord, or the person who owned the castle, would make gold based on how many the amount of people that had a house in that zone. So, um, oh, you want to know what weapon I use? I'm a two-handed staff and Natic. Just a two-handed mage for most part. I'm gonna switch it up today to go grinding. And then sunken chest. Um, for the most part, sunken chests are just anywhere in the ocean. You use recovery pouch to raise them, and it has a rare chance of giving you a 200 gold trade pack. Actually, it used to be a 1,000 gold trade pack, um, but they reduced it to 200 gold trade pack. So that's another thing people do randomly. And then you have probably seen me like past quite a few days. I've been down there farming old jars and the relic chests or whatever. They have a rare chance of giving you 40% swim fins and a dive helmet that allows you to hold your breath for an extra 1.5 minutes. Other than that, it gives you vendor trash. Some of the vendor trash is actually pretty good. Like one of the things I opened up down there yielded 5 gold per labor. But for the most part, it's pretty low silver per labor. Did I get swim fins yet? No, I've not gotten swim fins yet. It's not very time efficient for money making, but it is very very high silver per labor. Is it true that one-hander is superior late game? It is super meta to go dual wield as a mage. That's what people do. Late game, I do find that like dual wield like darkers and stuff like that have trouble killing like healers with the shield because they can't do enough damage to, and they can't do enough like just raw damage to burst down through their shield and stuff like that. How do you get on? Yeah, it's just one experience plant, and the experience plant has to crit. For most part, experience plants only give like 40k experience, but every so often you can grow like a really big experience plant, and when you harvest that, it can crit and give you a put you on that list. That's the only way you get on that list. And then last thing on my other ways to make gold is just real estate. Find housing plots and sell them for money. Actually, I had a friend on Legacy. After one of the server merges, he had a whole bunch of full demoed houses, and he just went around and he had like thousands of like tax searches ready to go. He just went around during Hellswamp, which is what the big deal was at the time, and he just placed a whole bunch of land, and he made like 70,000 gold selling his properties. So you can make a lot of money doing that. All right, then the very best way to make money in Archeage is the auction house. I kind of want to go over this quote. I saw it the other day on like Twitter. All right, so hold on, let me get the numbers real quick before I even do this. Um, let's see.
Oh, your suffering has only begun.
Okay, yeah, so the numbers are right. Jugs, thank you for following. All right, so anyways, all right, so basically, if you want to be, oh yeah, hold on, let me just go over this first. So the Archeage is like a capitalistic type economy, so kind of like the how the United States is set up. And then also this is kind of the thing that like gold isn't the end all thing in Archeage anymore because the Hiram gear can be competitive to Aranor gear, and once you it, Hiram gear doesn't actually cost that insane amount of money. Getting there with I know having gold and getting there faster is nice, but eventually we all will hit max out Hiram gear as long as you play every day. So the Abyssal shards from dungeons are mostly vendor trash. There's another use. You can use them for Galleon Mount. There's a couple other uses. You can make dungeon gear with it. For the most part, I just vendor trash them though. You can also make Abyssal enhancers with them, but there's not much. If you want to look at see what the all is in here for Abyssal shards, that's what all Abyssal shards can make. Gallant mounts right here. Enhancers, but for the most part, I just vendor them. Okay, so basically, billionaires do not work. Okay, if you made $5,000 a day, from now until the day that Columbus came over here to the U.S., you would still not be a billionaire. If you made $5,000 a day times 365.25 days, times the what 500 500 years, you would still not be a billionaire. So how they make money is either investments or having other people work for them so they can make more profits, okay? And that's kind of like the same way in here. So different ways you can play the auction house. One, you got your supplier. A supplier is a person, this is one thing that I was making my money doing early game, is I was looking to see what people wanted. People wanted to rush max level, so they wanted cactus and they wanted thistle, and also people, the Eastern players needed they needed bananas and they needed chopped produce. Western players needed wool and they needed ground grain. So all of those markets were really good early game, and that's what I focused on. And the main, oh yeah, I'm sorry, the main concept of the supplier, see you need, villain need. That you probably heard that thing in real life too, that same phrase. And then you can also just troll through the auction house and see what's has a high numbers. Is there a link to this? Yeah, sure. You can just go through the auction house and you can just see like this is what I was doing. I was looking at cactus. I know that cactus is not many of them right now. I could actually own the corner of the cactus market one, but I get about I harvest 4 of them. Who I voted for? I think I voted for Nanny or Patchy. I don't know, one of them. So, anyways, you no, the type of experience plant you plant does not matter. So I was using cactus, and if you look at it right here, it's 15 silver for one. And every harvest you do is an average of 4, so that's 60 silver. And we're spending 5 silver to harvest that. And then you have to reduce the auction house fee, and you can do the calculations right there. But that's actually, harvesting cactus is actually better silver per labor than it's better silver per labor than coin purses. But it's also a thing on the market. I can get undercut. Who is actually buying cactus right now? I don't know. It used to be a lot. It used to be popping. Like back here, that's about when I was selling this shit. But only at like only 200 sold today. 1,000 sold yesterday. So that's one thing you can look at. You can also let me show you how to use this part of the auction house. So you can go to crafting right here, and you can go to regal ore, and you can select this one you want. Let's say like you want to do grain. This will pull up all your millet, all your barley, all that stuff. Okay. And this is actually something that you'll use if you want to be a processor. Um, for example, let's say millet. So millet actually translate directly into, like it's 10. 10 millet turns into 10 ground grain. Um, can you explain how to read the graphs? Yeah, sure. 10 millet turns into 10 ground grain. And we can say, let's say 10 millet would give 1 silver, sorry, 10 silver, 75, hold on, I'm sorry, 17.5 silver for 10 ground grain. If I can spell it right. And so we could actually make money if we sold it for 10, because this is selling for like 30.7. So we can make almost a 300% return on investment. That's if we bought it at that price, and that's if it's sold. We'd also be spending 10 labor breaking it down, I believe. I believe it's 10 labor. And we also have to buy a blue salt knife. No, blue salt knife is right there for only 50 copper. But you have to do that for every like group of 10 or whatever. You can also look at like quinoa or something like that, because quinoa has a higher yield. And we can look at the numbers, do some calculations on that. But those are some things you can like do. And how to read the market. Let's look at lumber, because lumber has been very, very kind of rough. So this was like land day, I believe. And it was selling very high. Like you could see, like it was selling almost 2 gold per lumber back then. Actually, we might be past land day at this point. I don't know if I can even see land day on the market. But so this is the, what is it, the same day average, and the orange line is the 7-day average. And then down here it shows you how many sell per day. If you like look, the number says 14.6 thousand near my mouse, and so also 14.8, 19,000, 22,000. This is how many of it has sold that day, and that's not like consumed. That could be a person buying it and reselling it too, you know. So it could be like double numbers. But as you see, as lumber gets cheaper, more people are willing to actually like buy it. And one thing that I was doing too is so basically avoid the town workers. For most part. Another thing you want to do is like predict the market. Now, if you just like look around in housing, this is my property right here, so you don't have cedars on it. But everything else, when land first came up, everyone had cedars. Everyone's just spamming cedars. So obviously, people are just becoming self-sufficient, or they're trying to sell cedars because it was selling good. And there are people are also trying to go for thunderstruck. So when people just mass do cedars, what happens to the market? It actually starts crashing. People like don't need it because they already have it their own, or like everyone's just undercutting each other and no one's buying it. So that will drive the market down. So that's why we saw the market like go down. Now the other thing you get from doing lumber is your thunderstruck. Thunderstruck is like a byproduct of lumber. Uh, did I spell it wrong? Let's go logs because that's what people are mostly using for their carts. So th these logs were actually way higher than 200 gold that we saw like back like over a week ago. But you can see it's just starting to like slowly go down. Eventually it will go up because gold will inflate and people won't be spamming cedars like they are currently because they'll be working on other things. So like once you start seeing a mass amount of cedars, that's when it's time to like not deal with the market because you don't want to deal with that like that competition, you know. So just look at what other people are doing, pay attention to what people need, and also kind of like predict. You can also like read patch notes in the future and like kind of prepare for some things. Like let's say if they make crafting gear good again, guess what? Now we can start working on crafting stuff. Like another example with reading the future is whenever they came out with Aranor gear. Ray Cuckoo, thank you for follow. Whenever they were talking about coming out with Aranor gear, we had Obsidian gear at the time, and you needed an Ionad weapon, which was considered obsolete at the time compared to the Obsidian gear. But you needed a Divine Ionad to craft your Aranor, and Aranor was significantly better than Obsidian gear. So some of the people kind of like prep for it. You can also like another thing is like if they announce a server merge, you can start getting ready for the server merge and stuff like that. You get mats, get your housing and stuff ready, start maxing tax certs. Those are things you can do to like prepare for upcoming events. All right, so next thing, oh yeah, so you can focus on unsaturated markets. So that's like avoiding. Are there dailies for synthesis for Cape? No, you have to farm mobs for that. So I like to focus on unsaturated markets. So like in the first couple days of the game launch, I owned like my own little corner. I owned basically all the cactus on Win, and I owned almost all the thistle and almost all the wool. Those are the three things that I controlled, and I made quite a bit of money. I made over 700 gold in just the very first day, which I heard that some people actually made like even higher doing the same strategy. But it was also in Alexander, which had more people than Win. So that's just something to focus on. I also like to go for stable markets. Oh yeah, that's later on. I'll go over that later. All right, so I want to go over like buyers. Basically, buy things cheap and turn it into a profit. So what you can do for here, you can look for cheap things on the auction house. You kind of want to get like the feel of what things are selling for. Um, like this is where I'd consider my processors and stuff like that into it. Let's say like well, let's just do. How do you know if the market's stable? It's something you're gonna have to like manually do and like kind of figure out on your own for most part. So let's say like Onyx. Onyx has been very stable. This is back when people were really poor and they're just trying to sell as much Onyx as they can. But Onyx is a thing that's used in almost everything. If we just pull it up on the list right here. Like that's what Onyx is used for. Like look how much shit that is. A lot of things Onyx is used for is like seed oils and stuff like that. But other than that, it has a ton of uses. So I actually invested pretty heavily into Onyx. I dumped all my gold early game into it because it was selling for vendor value. It's only selling for like 1 gold. And I was like, bro, you can't sell Onyx for 1 gold. Like you're actually losing money. If you buy a trade pack, buy that cargo pack, run it, and then sell in the auction house, you actually lose money. You actually lose quite a bit of money. And so that's why I was like, I I wanted to focus on my gear, but I was like, I have to buy all that Onyx. So I have like 600 Onyx just sitting on me. Um. So anyways, so that's like one of the things. You can also for processors, let's say you want to make. I showed everyone this earlier. Hereafter stones. So right now it's 32 silver, which is very low, but you can buy 1 onyx and you can buy 6 stone. We can do the calculations, whatever. Stone, brick. You can just buy like this stuff, and depending on the market, you can actually make money just by like buying mats from the auction house, processing it, relisting it. Uh, when I showed everyone this a couple days ago about the hereafter stones, people were making about what 13 silver per labor doing that, and they were putting basically no effort into the game. That's even with the calculations. And hold on, let me go over to like graphs again real quick. I forgot if I went over that or not. But anyways, this shows you how many things are sold per day, and also shows you the highest and lowest, and then the average on that day. Right here's the highest number that's sold that week, and then it shows you the 0 at the very bottom. And then some of these things are very skewed because sometimes people buy like trade money to an alt or another person, and they'll buy like something for very high expensive. So that's not a thing. Sometimes you want to do the small investment stuff to me. Yes, that is another thing to do. And I'm trying to think what else to go over for buyers. Oh yeah, let me pull my list back up. Oh yeah, we talked about the processing. We talked about. Oh yeah, you can buy mats for trade packs too. So let's say if you don't own farm or if you don't feel like farming, you can actually go and look at the mats for trade pack. Let's say Adamar, for example, we want to make this pack right here. We pull up the on the auction house and we say trimmed meat. We could buy 300 of this if we wanted to. Look at that. Someone's trying to. This is another tactic I want to teach you guys about too, right here. What that guy's doing. We might actually try and benefit off of him on stream. But anyways, you can buy the mats for the trim meat, and you can also buy this stuff right here. And you can make the trade pack. Then you can use the trade pack to make yourself money. Um, but the best way to what is the best way to get trim meat? Ooh, I can't remember. I haven't done husbandry stuff in a long time, but I want to say buffaloes or cows or people are doing. You might be able to do like pigs or something. I'm not sure. Or turkeys. I'm not sure the strategies people are doing to make trim meat. I'll just leave that open. Go back to it later. That's a strategy, and I'll go over to you what he's doing. All right. Oh yeah, you can even buy consumables. You can even buy like potions, like loot. Like let's say you want to get your grind onto it. Let's say you want to go farm like 1 billion mobs. Okay, you can buy a loot pot. You can go buy damage pots, stuff like that, and you can consume that stuff and go kill mobs to make money doing that way and stuff like that. All right, then flippers. Um, that's kind of weird word for it, but it's basically a person who buys stuff and sells stuff. So main concept, buy low, sell high. That's kind of a general statement, but I want to go more in depth about it. All right, so one thing you need to note is the more money you have to invest, the more money you can make. The more money you have on hand that you can invest and put into the market and go like balls deep in the market. Like for example, right before Archeage Unchained came out on Legacy, I went in and I dumped every bit of my money into Apex. And just within like a couple weeks after dumping all my money into Apex, I made over 60,000 gold. Just because I knew less people were going to be playing Legacy, and I wanted to convert my money into a resource that doesn't inflate. Like gold inflates or whatever.
Your suffering has
And then
only
you also need to
begun.
find a balance between long-term investing and short-term investing. Casnet. Kazana was it Kazanax? Thanks for follow. So let's say if you want to do long-term investments, but you want to upgrade your gear now, well, guess what? Your investments are already focused on long-term unless you're trying to sell out early. You can go for short-term stuff just so you can have money on hand. That is a thing. Depending on how you want to play the market, that's all based on you. Like for one thing, I kind of invested too much long-term, and I ran out of money to keep upgrading my gear, so I can't keep up with like the people who benefited from the roll boss stuff. So I fallen behind. I'm only like 4.6 whatever. And I just took this time. I was like, look, I'm gonna stop like hitting that plus on my gear, and I'm just gonna go make some money. So the past like couple days, I've been focused on that gold grind. And then yeah, I think I said this earlier about the predict market. Pay attention to the future patch notes. Some of the things that happens in Korea are not always the same that happens in the U.S. Um, so that's something to look for, and look for underpriced items. Um, for example, this is one of the underpriced items. What this person's doing is he's hoping that someone will just let me just do list a pearl or something like this. A lot of people just go in here and they take their item and they list it and they just hit list. They don't actually look at it. If you ever sell an item, you want to go in the auction house and you actually want to look at it, look at what other people are selling it for, and make sure it's not like, for example, that guy's trying to he's trying to get like a stack of 1,000 for like 22 copper each. But make sure there's no like big jumps and gaps in here, and then you can go to list it and undercut the last person, just so like your thing would sell. Bam. But that's basically vendor trash right there. Well, it's not vendor trash. It's on the auction house value of it is only like a couple of silver higher than vendor, and who's really buying it right now. That's just that specific item right there. But that's things you're gonna look. Let me reopen the trim meat. See if we can, because I can actually benefit from that guy too. And then watch what other people are doing. I think I went over this earlier about like the whole like cedars in Animar, or cedars in every single housing plot. If everyone else is doing it, don't get in that market really. It's gonna be oversaturated. You're gonna deal with too much undercut. You're gonna like lose out on money. Unless you just want to be self-sufficient and not have to buy it, then that's perfectly fine. But this is all for like playing the market type thing. And then you can list one item for very cheap and try and catch the supplier that is just auto listing, which is actually what this guy's doing. See, we're just gonna keep refreshing it a little bit. We're gonna hopefully maybe someone puts a stack for 1,000. Not many people are actually going like making trim meat right now because livestock. It's not even a big market. All right, then let's see. Oh yeah, you can also buy from players. A lot of players will sell stuff to you cheaper because they want to avoid the auction house fees, and so you can actually buy stuff cheaper from players and then relist on the auction house for bigger profit margins. So that is another thing. And then I personally like to focus on stable markets, and oh yeah, I think I talked about this earlier about people keep creating money into the game, so gold constantly just inflates. Although right now people are actually deleting money from the game, so gold is actually deflating until people stop doing that. I guess I can pull AH bots as well. I've never messed with AH bots, so I don't know other programming. But I know it's illegal. But oh yeah, I know my specific strategy is focus on stable markets and also buy stuff for cheaper than what I know it can sell for. For example, I can go to trade chat and I can be like, "Hello, I'm buying Onyx for."
Your suffering has only
Let's see how much I have to buy Onyx for. White fallen thing follow. Let's do the calculation real quick. Uh, 1 gold, 77 silver, divided by well times 0.9. So I'd be making 1.59 gold if I sold it at that price after the auction house fee. So I could actually buy Onyx from a player for like let's say like 1.4 gold or 1.3 gold, and then I could list it. Um, and I would make profit doing that way. It wouldn't be big profit margins, but it is something you can do. I don't know who sell you that Onyx at that price or no, but they can. Also, if you have more money than the entire market, this is really if you're like super rich, if you're like some big old tycoon, you can actually buy out the entire market and relist all the prices as you want. So for example, we looked at cactus earlier. Um, I have more money than this entire market, and I can buy it out, and I can relist it as whatever I want. However, if someone sees that, they can either grow cactus themselves, they can go find cactus in the wild, and they can undercut me. So that's one thing to like look for, you know. For those with money, 8 silver flavor is good benchmark. I'd say in this economy, anything over coin purses is decent. On legacy, I try to go for anything higher than 10 silver per labor or 20 silver per labor. Anything higher than 20 silver per labor, you're looking at like amazing money. But for the most part, I try and focus on 10 silver per labor or higher. And if it's lower than coin purses, and if my goal is to make money off of it, I don't do it. I don't do anything that's less than coin purses. Because I can endlessly farm coin purses all day long. Alright, then we're talking about bid sniping. Bid sniping is actually a big thing in the game, and you can actually make quite a bit of money off of it. So let me show you how to search through them to go bid sniping. So what I do, yeah, never do coin purses. Coin purses are very lowest. Yeah, yeah. Coin purse is only 4 silver per labor at 0 proficiency, 7.5 silver per labor at max larceny. Coin purses I only look at as money in the bank, and just it's there. If you go on vacation or don't want to log in that day, just auto open coin purses. That is the thing you can do. Um, that's also before the mark house destabilized and crashed. So there's not a lot of things on the auction house that's high silver per labor right now. There used to be, but there's a big crash in the auction house. So anyways, I'll just go through here. Weapons aren't really all that great. Some of the armor right here, you can try and go for the Grimgas stuff. I have it set to timer, by the way. Would you mind linking that document? Yeah, sure. This is a document that I made that you can do it. I've been doing lake fishing, but people say it's only about 6 silver per labor. Dude, I was even getting as low as 3 silver per labor, which was worse. Um, lake fishing is not... Lake fishing is safe, but like it's quite a bit of time. It's like 45 minutes for the whole hole. But you can get bad RNG. Like I was getting really bad RNG for a while because it was 110 labor I think to catch and turn in, and some of the fish I was catching was only like 3 gold. So I was like, bro, I could have opened 2 koi purses to get that. Party X thing follow. Fishing is good if you still fish. It is. Just wait till cargo packs come out. Then pirating is gonna be even better. So anyways, I look for things like this guy did not even set a listing price, so I could do this thing called like passively bid. You have a spreadsheet for silver per labor. Can you sub? Um, I did have some of the silver per labors, but a lot of things are variables. You know, like trade packs are all variables. Um, too much calculation for trade packs. Fishing is very RNG, but I was giving about 14.5 silver per labor with ocean sport fishing. That's with 90k fishing proficiency. Sunken ships was yielding about 21 silver per labor. That's with 180k exploration. And then coin purses, 4 silver per labor at 0, 7.5 at max. And those last 3 fishing, cargo, packs, and coin purses are not affected by the market, and it's very easy to calculate those silver per labors. Other than that, you would have to look in the auction house and do the calculation yourself. All right, so we're gonna do something called like I would call passive bid sniping, and I would just go through here. I bid on that. I know 100% sure I can sell that for higher than vendor value. It's because that guy did not put a price on it, and I'm not gonna bother with it. If I get outbid, I just got outbid. What's the formula? The amount of gold you make divided by the labor you cost. It's a pretty simple formula, unless you're talking about trade packs and there's too many variables involved. Alright, so one thing that I was making pretty good money off of earlier was jewelry. So I'll come back to this one and I'll just win it to show you guys I don't really want that piece of jewelry, but I can do it. Uh, easy thing to note, a lot of people else will like bid on stuff early on, and I kind of just sit back in the shadows, and I don't let them know that they have competition. And it's easy to note, like it's blue right here, and blue, so it sticks out to my eye. I can see that this is set for vendor value. This is set for vendor value. This is set for vendor value. Everything else is going to decay. It's too expensive. I'm not worried about buying any of those items. What's good silver plater? 10 silver plater is good. 20 silver plater is really good. Any higher than that's like amazing. But in general, anything that's higher than coin purses right now because the market crashed. Until the market picks back up, then we'll have to go from there. But at the current time, I would say anything higher than coin purses really. If you're using labor to, and your goal is to make money, anyways. You can use labor for other things, that's fine. But if in the end game you're trying to make gold, then it's different. All right, so I'll come back to that in like 3 minutes. But anyways, I just go through the list right here. I just look at things. I have no use for that in the end, so I'm not going to bother bidding on that. This guy can bid it and break it down into Archeum. If he wants Archeum, I do not want Archeum. I do not focus on cosmetics. Consumables, sometimes you can get consumables, but since they added this partial sell into the game, it's kind of hard because people just consumables and crafting used to be really good for bid sniping, but it's not as good anymore. Uh, there is also another calculation for time per gold, and that's different, you know. But that's another factor you have to look at. Like I could bid snipe this too. I'll just bid on it. I don't know if it'll sell well. Actually, I can check the market. I could sell that for possibly gold. I could do a short sell on that. Now let's go to machining. Sometimes you can get like ship parts in here for cheap. If there's a specific item, let's say I want a propellant, I can look at these things right here, and I can look for any propellants that are gonna go up on list soon. So if you want to look for a specific item, you can do that. But we're kind of just doing a general like look at it right now. That means right here that someone outbid me. Right here we got the wave glow gem. That's actually a very cheap price. And cell glow gem, we can just pass a bid on that. I don't really want to bid on that right now. But this right here is too good to pass up on. Um, how do you know they're running bots? Oh, I guess bots are pretty fast or whatever. Right here, whoever placed a bid on that was is either a person who forgot to put a thing and he like just bid on all to jack up the price, but those are like not worth bidding on. Although this one is. But I'm just right here. I'm just like passively bidding because I don't want to like actively try and snipe it last second. All right, let's go back to our accessory right here. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna keep refreshing it, and I'm gonna look at I have the time on my phone, and based on the second. So we're trying to get the exact second on this. This is I'd only really do this for things that are actually like pretty good buys. And there are a couple ways to like win this. What I'm doing is I'm spamming refresh until I see the item is less than 1.5 seconds. There we go. I got the exact second that is going to expire, and now I can wait. I try and wait till last second because the person who has the bid on it right now cannot bid on it until after someone else bids on it. So if there's 3 or more people bidding on it, then it gets kind of rough. And I can actually see, I can look at the price at 15.25, and I can see if there's a third person involved too. Well, 3 or more people. So I can refresh it last second, and I can bid on it, or I can actually set a price on the bid. But hold on, this method I'm just going to show you waiting last second bidding. It still doesn't look like there's anyone bidding on it. Refresh it, bid, and there it goes, expires. Wait. Anyways, let me run in my mailbox real quick, because I'm pretty sure I won it. Pretty sure there's no other competition on it. Another way you can do it, let's say if it's a more expensive gem, let's say if it's something of really high value, and you don't want to run into risk of doing that, another way you can do it is, let's go to accessories again, And let's say like this real quick. I could actually set a bid. I can say like I'm willing to spend like 5 gold and let's say like some random number like 78. And I could wait till one of the last seconds instead of refreshing it. I can just hit bid on this number, and I can like beat everyone else that's trying to like snipe it last second. And that's another thing that you can do. So right here, I want it, of course, yay, for vendor value. Then I can immediately either break this down into Sunlight Archeum. We can see, I think that one would yield me a, sorry, Starlight. I think that gives me a shard. And I can see the value on it. Uh, Archeum does sell better. It is 10 silver to use it, and I don't really want to spend the labor to use it. Sometimes the item itself can sell. We're just going to go for a short sell. Because I just want the item, so I don't really want to. Because a lot of jewelry right now isn't selling as well as it used to. Early game, the first couple days, jewelry was like popping off, and I was actually making quite a bit of extra side money doing this. No, I'm just gonna not even put a dollar sign on it. I just wanted to sell. So, anyways, bam, easy money. That was just for like testing, like demonstration purposes of how to bid snipe, and you can do it. Let's also check trimmed meat. Now, someone bought that one cheapo one out. Let's see what's else on the list. The timer. Oh yeah, I already told you about that. But that's kind of the whole gold guide.